Today I'm talking to you about rider switch. I'll explain what it is, who qualifies to use it, and why it's a must when you go to Disney. So the gist of rider switch is it's the opportunity to ensure that if there are more than one adult within your party, so two parents, for example, and you have little kids, that one parent isn't stuck on the outside constantly staying back while the other parent goes on the rides or switching constantly. It's an opportunity to make sure that both parents get to experience a ride or an attraction. So here's the gist. If a child is under the height requirement to go on a bigger ride per se, or maybe they fit that requirement, but they're too scared to ride it. For example, Splash Mountain. My daughter's tall enough to ride it, but she's petrified. She wouldn't want to go on it. So the problem that a lot of families face, my family included, when you have two parents, a kid that's old enough to ride things, and a baby that can't ride anything that has a height requirement, is that somebody has to stay back with the baby. So it's usually mom. It's a great opportunity for, a mom to stay back and nurse the baby or to just get out of the sun for a little bit. But that other parent is also missing a lot of the experiences. Without rider switch, I would constantly be staying back with Landon while my husband goes and does all the attractions, which is great for him. And pretty good for Lily because she gets to do everything. But it would be nice for Lily to get to do it with me sometimes too. And of course, I want to go experience things too. So here's how it works. Parent number one, so Justin in my dynamic, would take Lily on a ride. So she loves going on Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. It's one of the most popular attractions in Disney World in Magic Kingdom. And she's tall enough to do it. So Justin will go on Seven Dwarfs Mine Train with Lily. I have to stay back with Landon. We nurse, we sit in the shade, we just hang out while they go on the ride. Well, then I get a ride it too. So here's how it works. Justin goes up and he uses his Fast Pass. He scans in for Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. Lily scans in for hers. At that point, he tells the person that is monitoring the entrance of the ride that he needs a rider switch. Now, depending on the ride, the person that is the attendant, the cast member, is going to just give him the rider switch, or they're going to ask for proof where is his wife with the baby that is being left behind. So usually I'll stay by, he'll look at me, I'll wave from the side, and what they do is they give him a lanyard. They will then carry that lanyard into the next stop where they will meet a cast member. The cast member is going to see that lanyard and they're going to give Justin a ticket. The ticket is good for 3 people to ride that same attraction. Depending on the attraction, it's that same day. So Justin takes Lily on Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. They get off. Then Justin sits with Landon, whom I've been staying back with. I take that ticket and I go with Lily back onto Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, okay? Lily does not need another Fast Pass, okay, because I have this ticket, meaning that I now get to experience this ride with Lily. It's happened once or twice that Landon was still sleeping and we're at that same attraction, so we might as well just do it then anyway. So Justin would just use that rider switch ticket and go back on again with Lily, so we didn't waste it. But the primary purpose is to ensure that mom, in my example, is not the one constantly on the sidelines. So let's take another example for, say, Flight of Passage. Lily's not tall enough to ride that one, nor would she probably want to. She'd probably be a little bit scared. So let's take Landon out of the equation. So 2 parents, 1 kid. Either they're scared to ride it or they're not big enough to ride it. Still, someone has to stay back with that kid. So on Flight of Passage, Justin would walk up, scan in with his Fast Pass, or if he's waiting in the regular standby line, that's fine too. But these big rides, hopefully we have a Fast Pass for, so we're not wasting 1, 2, 3 hours waiting in line. So Justin goes up to the cast member in either line that he's in, and I would be standing there with Lily or very close by so I could wave. He would explain either whichever situation applied to us, that Lily was too scared or Lily wasn't tall enough to ride it. And then he would say, I need a rider switch. They would give him the lanyard. He'd walk on up. And then the first time he sees the next cast member, they would exchange him once again for a ticket that is good for 3 riders. This is a great way to ensure that everybody in your family gets to ride, because when he gets off that ride, he'll give me that ticket. He'll sit with Lily, go get lunch, whatever, and then I get to go on that ride. If it was a ride that Lily could ride on, I would take Lily on again with me. She'd get to ride it twice, which is really nice for the little kids. If she doesn't want to ride it, obviously each of us just gets to go once. So rider switch is a great way to ensure that both parents get a chance to do all the attractions instead of one constantly missing everything. The rides that you can get rider switch on are rides that have a height requirement. So any of the big coasters you can get a rider switch on. And yeah, that's it. You can get one for Frozen Ever After. But I think that's more so if a kid is scared since it's a dark ride. So there's not a height requirement for that. Landon can go on that one, but you can get a rider switch. I'll include a list below of the other attractions that you can get rider switch on, so you know when you're planning your day which parent gets to kind of ride it, and which ones to make sure that you ask for a rider switch on. But I would just ask your cast member when you're going on, especially if there's a height requirement, if there's a rider switch opportunity. So this is great for parents. You know, if a kid's sleeping and you don't want to wake them up, well, let's get the rider switch and you can come back. But it's a great way that Disney has to ensure that all parents get to have fun while they're at Disney too. So hope that helps. Hope when we are planning your fast passes for the trip that I'm hopefully getting to plan for you, that we sit down and, you know, go over which rides we want to make sure that you ask for a rider switch for. And I'll be sure to remind you of the rides that you should be asking so you don't get left out.